All right, internet connection is good. I've got some questions that came in on my Gladiator Strong forum. So my throat is shot from coaching. I'm going to answer, I've got 2 questions here. That'll give us a quick live. And I love doing these questions. Love helping people out. So thanks to everybody for popping in. If you guys have questions, you could post them up, or there's a little question image down below, and you could post your question there so I don't lose it and try scrolling. This came from Bob. Bob H. has been inside Gladiator Strong for quite a while. He says, Coach, I know you've covered this topic before, but I thought it might be worth revisiting. Can you talk about adding weight for older lifters? How do you decide when you or your older athletes add weight to the bar? For the past couple months, I've been supplementing my Gladiator Strong with some starting strength type work, squats, press, bench, deads, periodically trying to add a 2.5 or maybe 5 to the lifts. At 58, I know I have to train smart for the long haul. I want to bolster my absolute strength and stay durable. But I hate telling myself I'm backing off because I'm trying to prevent injury. Feels like I'm making excuses instead of manning up and attacking. What do you think? Thanks for all you do for us, Z. Bob, I would say this. This is going to be very tricky. I heard Jim Wendler say this. He's like, you can't serve 2 gods at once. So what program are you following? Hey, I'm on Gladiator Strong, but I'm doing a little bit of starting strength. So I feel like in Gladiator Strong, we are not training for powerlifting specific. I tell this to people. But you could train with this program and build yourself up to a 500 plus pound deadlift. You could bench over 315, squat over 405 with this program. If it was just specific to powerlifting, we'd be repeating those movements more and more. But I like to give us breaks. And somebody mentioned yesterday my Beast Strength program was a 12-month program. You go through like 2 or 3 months of barbell work. Then you might take a month and just do all, bags, bells, and body weight. Then you might go back to barbell work, free weights, but more of a minimalist approach. Then you might have a short training cycle of just body weight training. And so the program had an ebb and flow. Why? We're training for life. We're training for overall athleticism. And when you're always barbell and squat and bench and deadlift, I don't know about anybody else, but I know for me, I get physically bored and beat up from that kind of training. And emotionally and mentally, I get bored. I want a change. Like today, I did box squats. The past few weeks or months have been traditional squats. But I'd also have a week here and there where I would get away from the barbell and do double kettlebell squats, sandbag squats. And so what I'm saying is we get to a place where if we're always chasing the number, you will feel like shit. Because I'll say this, I don't care how much I lift anymore. A month or so ago, I deadlifted 519. I trap bar deadlifted last week, 525 or 535. And you know what? I haven't trap bar deadlifted in 3 months, and I'm still pulling over 500. And the reason being is when you're training to be strong all around, you don't get caught up in just measuring what is the weight on the bar. At age 58, I'm 49. When I get to 58, I'm probably going to be even less interested in the weight on the bar and more focused on feeling better, moving, just staying active. And so I think it's real tricky to be program jumping. And that being said, when people say, hey, what should I do for extra? Like we're going to start this 6-week transformation challenge. Well, on the days that you're not programmed, Gladiator Strong, I do 3 days a week. You do kettlebells, you do body weight, you go out and do cardio, steady state cardio, recreational activity. Could be hunting, could be hiking. There's so many different walks of life type people inside Gladiator Strong that it's hard for me to say, this is what you have to do. I love freedom, and we are in America. So you have the freedom to, cherry pick some workouts and I've told people to get any of the standalone programs and plug them into the calendar of Gladiator Strong. So I hope that clarifies, Bob. How do I add weight? When do you add weight? When you feel good. When you feel beat up, you back off. And you're just constantly assessing. You know, something feels weak, I make that area stronger. Today, when I did box squats, I always superset stuff. Why? It's time efficient, and it adds a little element of a fatigue to the point where I can't add weight. So I did some standing leg curls. I did band adduction to really work my groin. That has helped with knee pain. I snuck in suitcase carries, different abs, scapula pull-ups. Then at the end of the workout, glute ham raise, hanging abs, and reverse hypers. Haven't done glute ham raise for a while, but wanted to crush that posterior chain. Next question. Here we go. Actually, isn't a question, it was an introduction, but I'm going to read it anyway. I'm just going to keep the last name private. It's from Jeremy. He said, hey, I'm new to the group. This is Gladiator Strong on Train Heroic. A little bit about me. I'm a sports performance physical therapist. I love that. I've spoken about where I guide people who tell me they want to be strength coaches. I tell them you have to be a physical therapist. That's a whole nother topic. But that's where I push people to. And so Jeremy says, I've got a strong background and interest in strength and conditioning. So here he is training. A lot of people talk about training, write about training, but they don't do the damn thing. It's funny. That's like you don't see me in the corner coaching boxers because I don't box. And so I know what I could do. But it's always interesting how people want to be strength coaches, but they don't actually practice the damn thing. All right, enough of that rant. I love coaching. I love my family, training, and learning everything and anything. I always try to outsource my own training so I could learn from others, free up some mental space, and hold myself accountable in the process, which is huge. A lot of people enter our group so they could take a mental break, stop trying to figure it all out, and have accountability and also support. We have a private forum. So he goes on to say, I have immense respect for strength coaches who have talked the talk and walked the walk over the years, which is part of what led me to Zach. I was part of another Train Heroic group for over 2 years with another longtime strength coach who I consider a mentor, but I felt the training was becoming a little too specified, which is not how I view training for life, athleticism, as well as the mental side of things. So here I am, looking forward to the journey, learning, and of course, getting stronger. Now, I'm going to just flip this around. You guys can see here, Gladiator Strong. And our account for that is Gladiator Built. But anyway, let's move this computer out of the way. I was speaking with a dad today about training his son for sports. And I said, we train athletes to be athletic so they could bend, jump, sprint, so their overall fitness is very high and they're durable. And I was just thinking to myself, how many athletes struggle because they've lost athleticism? They've gotten way too specific. And I don't know if we spoke about it in the recent podcast, Joe Ken, Big House, and I, but he had mentioned to me that when he was with the Carolina Panthers, he was like, man, these linemen should actually get redshirted in the NFL because they can't bend. They are absent of the basics. And why? Everything is so specific. We have 7, 8, and 9-year-olds doing soccer-specific workouts, football-specific workouts. And what's it doing? It's just holding them back. It's making them unathletic. And we might see a fast increase in their sport-specific outputs. But for the most part, we're not seeing better athletes. This is also why in the high school, you don't see an athlete who is like, you know what? I could just walk onto the basketball team. I've played, some street ball. I can just learn wrestling. I'll be on, there's no freshman teams anymore. I'll be on the JV team this year, but I'm strong, I'm fit, I'm athletic. And then you'll be on varsity. Decades ago, the way it used to work was you were on the freshman team. Sophomore year, you were on JV. Then your junior, senior year, you were on varsity. You didn't make varsity unless you were an absolute freak as a sophomore. Forget about even a freshman. So with Gladiator Strong, I look at, will this training interfere with sports and or will it interfere with this person's life or career? So we have a lot of law enforcement in there, military. We have a lot of guys that have full-time jobs, families, but they also like to compete or just train in jiu-jitsu. So my thought process when programming is I like to leave a little bit in the tank. So when they're done, they feel like they could do more, but I want that extra to be given energy to family, career, and outside activities. I don't think it's a very good life to just like work, train, and everything revolves around that. I don't know too many people who could last that long doing that. And so the volume is moderate. It would be, in my opinion, optimal. And then with Dad Strong, I never thought I would create a program that was 3 days a week, 30 minutes. But I know what it's like to be busy. It's not odd for me to just do a 30-minute workout. And I've got a lot of friends that are now busy dads, busy family men, busy with career. And they couldn't figure out a way to train. I was like, dude, I do a ton of 30-minute workouts. I'll put it together for you guys. And so now here we are. Men are getting strong again. Gladiator Strong and Dad Strong. All right, guys, have a great night. If there's a question, I'll wait maybe 15, 20 seconds. I don't see any questions here in the bottom. If you ever have to ask questions, you could also send me a DM. I always answer. Not always, but I like to answer thoroughly and usually answer with an audio message. I've got all these books on my desk and I'm like, damn, I should get some audio books. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Also, quick heads up, I will be in North Carolina, January 18th. It's a free Mondo clinic. I've put it in my recent blog posts on the podcast. That's January 18th. January 24th is a Friday, Lift Strong fundraiser. Man, one of the coolest updates is one of the kids I used to train from the Edison Underground Strength Gym emailed me, and he's a cop, he's a father, and he does like wood carvings from tree logs, signs, bears, and I said, normally we have Black Widow making us the hammers, but it's a fundraiser, and it gets very expensive when I'm buying those things. And so I was like, man, I asked Dean for so much stuff. Dean is backed up. So this kid, Jimmy, hit me up. I said, my God, this is amazing. I got to get you to make some sort of hammers. He's like, I've never done that before, but I'm going to give it a shot. And this is a kid I trained in like 2007 or 8, almost 20 years ago, that these kids, now he's a man, he's married and he's got his own kid, but I still call them kids. They still want to give back to the underground. It shows what a special place it was. And people think, oh, it was special, for all these other reasons. The reason the underground was and always will be special is the people that walk through the doors. Good question here. Jay Chanel, what would be some of the best special strength exercises for linemen? First of all, do research on Olin Kreutz and Dr. John Quint. They have a program called Lineman Special Strength. It's very in-depth. I'm not sure if you're a coach or a lineman, but I would say this. All linemen need to wrestle. You need to wrestle, learn hand fighting. If you're not in Muay Thai or boxing, and you're in high school, you should be wrestling. The other thing I would say is most linemen are carrying way too much body fat. They're over fat and under muscled. And so you need to push your GPP greatly. And that's a big part of what we do at the underground. I think getting the underground strength manual would be great for you because of all the GPP. We do so much sleds, carries, and calisthenics. And then the other thing is, linemen are carrying way too much body fat, and they're not strong. Now, we couple those two things with their inability to move. I don't know if you missed it, but I was talking about how athletes lack athleticism. How do we get linemen more athletic? We get them to join wrestling. We get them to engage in combat sports and still play multiple sports. And they need to be on a program that truly develops strength. I found a lot of lineman programs have a lot of half squats, a lot of shitty power cleans, and they overemphasize the anterior of the body, not the posterior. And coaches don't understand how to implement muscle building to help these linemen build muscle, become more metabolically fit and active, and help with nutrition. So we're seeing big guys who can't move and are not strong, which leads to an overabundance of injuries. So little rant on linemen. That's all I got for you guys. Go over to ZachStrength.com. Free training courses that you could put to use immediately. Even though nobody really values free stuff, we still hook people up with a lot of free stuff. Lift Strong in New Jersey. Need your support. If you're in the area, please make it out. Any questions, send me a DM. Jay, thank you very much. College DN. I train a lot of high school and youth linemen. Yeah, buddy. Any other? I would say this. Go to Underground Strength Gym Instagram and see some of our videos. And go on my YouTube. Lots of training videos. How many? Thousands. Talk to you guys soon.